As you turn off the Savannah Way, just before Broome, and start heading up towards Cape Levesque, your first opportunity to drop down onto the beach and have a bit of a sneak preview at the Kimberley coastline is at Quandong Point. Now, it'll give you the opportunity to drive up a bit of coast here where you can have a bit of a sniff around. You can mix with the Broome locals because this is where they come to hang out for their weekends. The fishing's here, the white sandy beaches are here, the red dunes are here, and there's also a little bit of more recent Australian history in James Price Point. Now, if you haven't heard of that, that was the scene of a bit of a battle between the traditional owners and a mining company.
The Dampier Peninsula juts out to the north of Broome, cutting a neat triangle out of the Indian Ocean. We would be heading up the east coast toward the tip, Cape Levesque. This spectacular virgin coastline was nearly developed into a small city by Woodside Petroleum. A 25 square kilometre area would have been bulldozed and closed to the public to create a gas processing hub. Locals were torn between the business opportunities and the destruction of a pristine coastline. There is no other place on Earth like the Dampier Peninsula. At the 11th hour, the $45 billion project fell through, a victim of sustained action by environmentalists and lowering gas prices globally. We headed out on the beach just north of James Price Point, a place that would have been closed to four-wheel drives by this time had the plan gone ahead.
All right, I'm going to share a story with you and then I'm going to give you a moment to recover, because at the moment, everywhere around here, all I can hear is raucous laughter, and I suspect there'll be a little bit from you as well, because guess what's just happened? I've driven down onto a beach, not familiar with it, dropped the tyres down to 20 pound all the way around, thought that'll get me out of trouble, slipped around, leisurely Sunday afternoon, and I've decided to give the diffs a real close look at the sand. We're going to have to get her out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook a snatch strap up to this thing and we're going to get it up and going again, because as we all know, you require two things to drive in low traction areas. You need flotation, you get that by dropping your tyres. Now I just need some momentum again. I'll get that through the snatch strap. The snatch strap recovery is a pretty straightforward thing, but there's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind, and they're based around safety. Always use the right snatch strap and the right recovery points and fasteners for your size vehicle. And if you're not sure what you should be using, slip down to your local ARB and just tell them what you've got and what you need, and they will fix you up with it. Always use a rated recovery point. Don't just wrap this around the bull bar or something. Use a proper rated recovery point and a proper rated shackle. Always make sure you fix it to the back of the other vehicle by the same method. Don't just hook it around the tow ball. There's way too many people get injured every year by lazy Australian males just hooking a snatch strap around a tow ball. Now Carlisle's going to back his vehicle up a little. That'll put some slack into the snatch strap. It lets him get some momentum so he can transfer that back to me through the snatch strap. Let's get this going.
The coastline along James Price Point is raw. It is a place of unadulterated colours. The reds are straight off the crayon. The whites and blacks of the beach are absolutely pure. We set up camp on flat rock, just north of Quandong Point, a solid base of red stone that sticks its tongue out into the ocean, and went for a drive up towards Quondam Point, one of the best beach runs in the country. The tides here can be over 9 meters, which means the scraggly coastline you see here turns into a perfect blue lake at high tide. The water crystal clear and full of sea turtles, wobegongs and rays. Seeing the layers of the earth cut open and dropping into the sea, it makes you feel small. And then you think, in the rest of the universe there isn't another place that looks like this, that combines these colors, that is so perfectly scaled for exploration by man. If we hit the road as a form of escape, there is no escape quite like the Kimberley coastline. Its intensity is unrivaled. The colors, the landscape, and the light all combine to create a sense of awe that doesn't fade with the passing days. This is a coast rich with sea life, yet devoid of jellyfish and saltwater crocodiles. The Aboriginals have been swimming and fishing here for 40,000 years in relative bliss. This far into the tropics, it is an anomaly. There is old magic on the peninsula, and you can feel it as you drive along these blood cliffs. The reds of the cliff faces pulsate against the blue sky. The sea reflects everything without shame, and the white sand of the beach takes it all on, wearing the sunset like a rainbow coat that changes with every second. There is an alchemy to this land, an ability it has to turn the lead of your outlook into gold, to transform your soul from the outside in, a chemical reaction between the sunlight and our eyes. And I think that's what I love about this part of the world, its ability to straddle twin identities, the desert and the shore. Nothing can prepare you for the sunsets up here though. Caught in the gauze of haze that wraps around the horizon every evening, the sun is magnified and softened. It becomes a dinner plate as big as the sky, casting soft, golden light over everything. Coming up next, we head to Middle Lagoon, a true Kimberley paradise. The road out to Middle Lagoon was defined by Land Cruiser-sized corrugations. Sand ripples we rode like waves, west to the coast, to a place I come back to again and again to rediscover. Middle Lagoon is owned and operated by the local Aboriginal people. It is a low-key resort with basic cabins available and a range of camping options to suit every taste. Located about halfway up the Dampier Peninsula, this natural, semicircular lagoon is perfect for launching boats, relaxing by still water, diving, fishing, or just exploring.
Middle Lagoon is one of my favourite places in the Kimberley. It's perched about halfway up the Dampier Peninsula. It's one of those unique places in the world that has something that nowhere else has. And this water behind me is crystal clear. It's full of coral, trout, trevally, Spanish mackerel, right off the rocks out the front here. Another thing it doesn't have, which is what makes it pretty special, is saltwater crocodiles. Now, there's mangrove creeks that run up and down this part of the coast, but for some reason, there's never been salties or even jellyfish in this lagoon here.
You can camp in the dunes around the lagoon, in a couple of grass huts right on the beach, or on the western-facing clifftop overlooking the sea, the perfect place to watch the sun set over the Indian Ocean through the smoke of your campfire. Add a cold beer, and life doesn't get much better than this.
They say there's no such thing as a free lunch. When you're out here touring, solar power is about the closest thing you're going to get. Now, this Red Arc 108 watt panel does the work that a similar mono or polycrystalline panel does. The biggest difference here is that this thing folds up to the size of a laptop. It's much easier to carry around in your car. You don't have to find a spot for one of those big panels up on the roof rack or in the back of the car. Now at 108 watts, this thing will basically charge up a couple of fridges, or under this big Kimberley sun, you can leave it out all day, charge up everything on the car. It runs all my cameras and laptop gear in the 100, the fridges, and everything else I need. And the best part is, you can't break these things. Just exploring around Middle Lagoon and bumped into a couple of other guys who are out here living the dream. Linda and Wal from HEMA Maps. Now Linda, you guys, you really are out here. You've got the best job in the world, don't you?
Absolutely. We are so lucky we get to live and do what we want to do all the time.
So I guess one of the central tenets of HEMA since day one is that you guys are out here all the time updating the maps in the field. You know, it's not an office job, is it?
Not really, no. A little bit of behind the desk, but 30 years on the 12th of July this year, since Henry and Margaret started their own mapping company.
I think the fact that it's named after those guys sort of reflects some of the values of the company. You guys are very dedicated to getting things right, getting things very accurate on the maps, because it can be life and death.
For sure. Rob handpicks all the staff, and I'm sure Henry did before him. And each staff member is someone that loves to get out here and enjoy the outback themselves, and so we all know the value of having it right and how important it is.
So really this is a day in the office for you guys, isn't it?
It is. We are so lucky. We get to, basically, HEMA's a lifestyle. It's not a job, and we all just get out there and have a ball doing what we do.
Speaking of lifestyle, it's about time to go for a fish. The tide's running out here, and this is supposed to be one of the best fishing spots on the Dampier Peninsula. So let's see what's on the bite.
Let's go.
What I love about the HEMA maps, what makes them different from every other map, is that extra information that just gives you phone numbers, opening hours, fuel availability, all that stuff, actually on the map, rather than having to look it up separately in a book after you found where you want to go.
Yeah, I must admit we found it pretty handy being able to work out where our next fuel stop is along the way.
I guess reliability is a word that comes up a lot with the mapping stuff. I mean, maps are what people rely on when we're out here.
That's exactly it, and that's the most important thing, is that we make really reliable maps. Doesn't matter how you buy them, have them in an app or GPS or on paper, but as long as they're reliable, you've got the right gear.
I think the only thing they don't do is catch fish for you.
Yeah, we're working on that, yeah.
We had more fish on our minds than we had on our plates that night, but with a sunset like this, an open fire, and good friends, who cares? A new day dawned over Cape Levesque, the sun catching in the rose-colored rocks at the tip, and we had a new adventure lined up for the day. I would be catching up with Brian Lee, one of the traditional owners from Quondam Point, to try to catch some mud crabs in the mangrove swamps of the tip. This is a trip I've always wanted to do, a way to see this coast up close and personal, and to learn a bit along the way.
Hey Brian.
Oh yeah.
Good mate, you?
Good, good, good.
Mate, thanks for having us. We're gonna go out and do some mud crabbing, maybe some fishing and stuff today.
We're gonna go out and have fun.
Mate, I'll follow you in this, and it looks like it knows where it's going.
It's ready for action, bro.
Cool, let's head off.
Okay, man. See ya.
Brian's ancestral land stretched from Kooljaman in the west to Quondam Point in the east, encompassing the mangrove-lined tributaries of Hunter's Creek, where we'd be heading for some fishing and mud crab hunting. Where the creek empties into the sea, the water is aqua blue and as clear as rain. Sea turtles bobbed around on the surface, while rays skittered past us. Brian tried to catch some live bait, and I threw some lures at the swirls and splashes we could see on the surface.
It's not a biggie, a little trevally or something. He's got a bit of fight in him on this super light tackle. I don't want to lose him. Can you dance for me? Not bad. What a great spot. You can see these guys schooling up out in the middle of the heartbeat's just casting out that far. This is Hunter's Creek, just up the road from Kooljaman, and this is Brian Lee's country. He's invited us to come out here for a fish. Normally you're not supposed to come up here, so I feel pretty special to be in a place like this where most people can't get to. Turtles sticking their heads up everywhere. Whales out there today. It's been beautiful.
Coming up next, Brian Lee shows me how to find mud crabs in the mangrove swamps.
So Brian's taken me out to an area just near Quondam Point. It's at the very tip of Cape Levesque. And there's a massive mangrove swamp here, and we're gonna go looking for some mud crabs then. Brian, you reckon it's really easy footing in there?
Easy enough. Easy enough. Just don't slip, that's all.
He's already got his laughs stored up for when I do on these mangrove roots, so let's see where we go.
how does it work exactly? You you just pull them out of the roots with this?
Yeah. So we find holes and stick these in the hole and try and pull them out by the claw.
All right, let's get into it, man.
Okay. Okay, see if we can get a couple.
So Brian's just brought us up to a hole. He doesn't look like it, but he can actually find his way around in this mess, and we're gonna see if there's a crab in here. Let's see what this long stick's actually used for.
Yeah, and you can see with this hole there, there's a, like when you look at the holes, there's a good indication that there's a crab in there or not, simply because the hole is a lot cleaner.
Yep.
You have a few tracks on it. Maybe they're in there, maybe they're not.
Yep.
But the best way to find out, I suppose, is put this hook down there and see if he grabs onto it. Hear that?
Yeah, you can hear his shell.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta be quick.
There we go.
I don't have to worry about his claws anymore, do I?
No. Right here, man.
Look at that. He's throwing his claws off for us.
Yes. So they throw their claws when they're threatened.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think they'd bite you with them when they're threatened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they get a hold of you, they give you a good nick.
Oh, that's a good feed. That's a good-looking crab.
It's a good start for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is fun.
To the next hole.
Hey. So Brian's just found another hole. He reckons there's a monster in here. You can just see these tracks running in here, so we know there's a crab in there. It's quite a distinctive sound when you've got a crab on the other end of the stick, isn't it? Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, that's enough for lunch, or what?
So how do you cook these?
We chuck them in the fire, eh?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the best. Just smoke them up.
Yeah.
What's the secret to cooking muddies on the fire? Is it good coals or flames or what?
Yeah, no, we're gonna have good coals. But yeah, we'll build this fire up and get some nice coals going.
She's going up. Let's go look at those crabs.
Okay.
All right, so just grill them up on this now.
Yep, we'll just throw that on.
All right, looks delicious
Okay.
already.
You can bring them over here. That'll do it.
So Brian, how long do you leave them on there for, mate?
They start to change colour.
Yep.
10 minutes, 5 minutes each side,
Cool.
and we should be right.
Mate, so they're all cooled off?
Yeah.
Ready to
They're all
tuck
cooled
into?
off, ready to get stuck into. You tried them before? Like this on the fire?
Never on the fire.
Okay, all right. I'll give you a taste sensation, maybe.
It's like a crab lollipop.
Crabsicle.
Crabsicle, I like it. You can smell the smoke in it too. There's not a thing in the world wrong with this. This is probably the simplest and best picnic I've ever had.
Best way to eat these things. Straight off the fire.
This is a day you have to make time in your schedule for. Come out with Brian. Catch these things yourself. Come out on the beach, cook them up, and have the best feed of your life.
And that's no fairy tale.
the perfect Kimberley day, getting into the wild mangroves, catching your own lunch and enjoying it in the shade, listening to Brian's stories of a life growing up out here in the land of halcyon days and Milky Way nights.
One of the things I love most about this job is getting to spend time with people out here in the bush who are doing what they love to do. Brian, you obviously love everything about being out here.
Yeah, well, to me, it's the best job in the world. You know, I get to hang out with good people, and it gives me an opportunity to share my experiences and my country with everyone who comes out with me.
Here's to another day, living the dream.
Tune in next week. We check out Signet Bay Pearl Farm, fish the Buccaneer Archipelago, and taste the best of Broome.